Hello.
Hey guys, totally awesome me on Dream Master Animatronics, and we also got JB Videos recording. Yep. Now sit down, make yourself comfortable. Now we got a Big Mouth Billy Bones here. Now this is not mine, this is actually Bailey's. I bought it for him as a gift because he let me stay at his house for quite a long time, so I bought him quite a few gifts. But I'm gonna buy Jordan gifts as well, so don't worry about that, Jordan. But this is actually an original Big Mouth Billy Bones. Really nice shape. I only got it for around $20, I think. It was a very good price. But unfortunately, doesn't do anything. Just moves its mouth, split gear in the head. You get the point. Now, I'm gonna show you how to fix this. Now, the whistle piece is broken for the tail, so if I do replace that motor shaft gear, only the head will turn. The tail will still not move. But that whistle piece can be hard to get in good condition. Henry sells them, so if you want to buy some whistle pieces, go to the Hornmeister and he'll be happy to sell you some. But if you don't have whistle pieces, this will work. This is a Big Mouth Billy Bass tail hinge, or you can use a mouth hinge. Okay, so we're going to show you how to fix, rig that to make it work for the tail piece. But before we do that, I'm going to...
Oh yeah, and if the tail is like resting all the way along the plaque, that means it's broke.
So if it's resting like this, it's broken, but if it's nice and straight, it's not. So, unless it's been repaired, because when you repair them, you can make them touch the plaque if you want.
Yeah.
But very rarely.
Are you going to make it do that? No.
Well, hopefully this won't cause it to not do that, but I don't think it will anyway. It'll be fine.
I think I need a taller stool though.
Yeah. Now all you have to do, guys, put all your screws in a little cup so you don't lose parts. You don't want to lose parts. It's no good to lose parts. But these are actually fairly easy to fix, guys, because they don't have a skin. So they're not too bad to fix. But the guy who had this before me did take it apart before. Look at that screw. I didn't even take that off. So that's already halfway out. Look. So he did try to fix it at one point, but obviously failed. So I'm going to use this spinning snowflake snowman to rest this plaque on. It won't wreck this snowman, don't worry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew the switch, because as you can see, these wires are extremely short. So
yeah, and those pull off a lot, like really easy.
They do. They're actually very good. Alright, so I'm going to take this screw off, these two screws off. You don't have to do this, by the way, but it's better so they don't pull off. And they do have a tendency to pull off very quickly, and Jordan does know that. Yeah. And same with the speaker, but the speaker's not too bad. I can survive with that. But what you do, guys, see, very simple mechanism. What it is, it's the traditional whistle piece mechanism, but as you can see, it's like a puppet. So these are the little levers that move the head. See, it's basically like a puppet. It uses the fish as a puppet, which is really cool. But I'm gonna show you what I do usually. Alright, so first of all, you take these screws out. These things you don't need to put back on, but I highly recommend you do, because they just hold the fabric in place and make it look very neat. It's meant to look nice and neat, otherwise, you know, what's the point? If it's not neat inside, there's no point, you know. Obviously take that out. It does take a bit of strength to take it off, but it's okay. We'll take them off last. Fairly easy to fix these things, especially when you know what you're doing. You know, like, I understand not everyone knows how to fix, but it's not that bad. There we go. Very dusty too inside here. There we go. There's one piece out. That's just to hold the fabric. The fabric has gone very hard because it's very old. It's an old item, guys. It's not new. What? It's about 18 years old now. 15?
Oh yeah, 18. Well, I remember the 15-year edition. So yeah, it's 3 years later, so yeah, 18.
18 years.
Yeah.
I like working on Billy Bones because I've done it so many times. Like my Billy Bones kept having problems when I was a kid, so I basically know exactly how these work. It's actually really weird, but alright, so that's that, guys. Now what you have to do now is take that motor out. Now you can take it out now or you can take it out later. I recommend taking it out now because you don't have to worry about it. So look how easy it is, guys. This is all you have to do. Now obviously that screw is a bit tight for the screwdriver, but I don't know why I'm using the screw. Yeah, I'm not going to use the screwdriver.
Yeah.
I'm gonna the motor's in pretty good shape too. But the gear? No. The gear is broken completely. Now guys, when you put this motor back in, you don't have to put both screws. You can just put one because it really doesn't need 2 screws. There's a lot of fish from company that don't have 2 screws. So now that's a 9-tooth gear. It's gone.
Split.
Completely split. It's gone. But we're gonna leave that motor. Look, that motor's been rusted a bit.
Yeah.
But it works, so that's the main thing.
Here, I'm gonna.
Alright, so now we basically, so let's just go through what we've done here. We took that switch off, well obviously the back off. Took that switch off, we took these little brackets that hold the fabric in off. We took all these screws off and we took the motor off. Very easy. Alright, there's a motor hanging right here. The motor looks very
yeah,
but it works anyway. So what we do is, see, this has gone very hard. Look at that. I've never seen one like that. But anyway, what you do is now close it up and do this. Pull the fabric. Now this can be a bit tricky, because especially this particular fabric, because this one's gone hard, really hard actually. Alright. So what you have to do is pull the fabric out completely, and I mean completely. Now this might help if you actually do this. Now Jordan might cut this part out because this does take the longest, taking that fabric out.
No. I usually don't cut videos, but
no, it's up to you. I don't mind. Got most of that out? Yes, we did. Alright, so now, once you got all the fabric out, just like this, I'm going to give this fabric a wash too. It's kind of disgusting. But, see, this is the fabric to cover the mechanics, obviously. So what you do to take the skeleton off is look underneath here. Now, see there's one lever controlling the tail, see that? See how it moves?
yeah.
And there's one lever controlling the head right there. So you just take those screws out. Now we might need a small screwdriver for this one. Alright, you take that screw off. You take that screw off for the tail. It's very simple. It's really not that hard, guys. Billy Bones is actually probably one of the easiest fish to fix. Which is kind of understandable because anyway, right now I'm just taking that other puppet screw. I like to call them puppet screws because it's basically a mechanism controlling like a puppet, basically. It really is. It really is. Alright, so after you do that, you take this middle screw right here, this middle one right here. This middle one, you don't have to take these two yet. Alright? See, that holds the skeleton in place. Alright? And you go to the top, and there's 2 more screws. Now, you need some room, of course. See, there's 2 more screws right there. 2 more screws. So you get those screws out. Now, this has been taken apart before. I can tell by how loose these screws are. Alright? I'll collect these screws in a little bit. Alright, so that will just come right off. There you go. It's just like a puppet. See? Just like a puppet. Anyway, so once you get that out, the mechanism has to come from the inside, just like this. Alright, so now these are the mouth wires hanging. Now you got the mechanism right here. Very simple. Head, tail. The shorter one tail, longer one head. Okay, now the head works. So there's nothing wrong with it. I can tell because that split gear was just causing the head not to work. So all we have to do now is loosen all these screws. We probably need a bigger screwdriver for these ones. My fault. Okay, one more screw. Now the cool thing about this mechanism, it has these tab pieces so that the things don't fall out. Because this one obviously doesn't have a tail piece, so it doesn't need 2 hinges, it only needs 1. So that's why they put these things here. Now those things can be very hard to pop up, but it was right there anyway. So sometimes it can be hard. See, just like that was a bit harder to take off, but anyway. So we take the mechanism off. That's what we got. Now this has been taken apart before because the whistle piece is gone.
Oh.
So you can see what he did. Yeah, so he definitely took that whistle piece out, which is not a big deal because yeah, see, here's the whistle piece. It's completely snapped in half.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Very bad condition. The whistle piece, I mean. But now this one's not coming out because he made a groove there, so it's very hard for it to come out now. Sorry about this, guys. So what he did is he made a small groove there accidentally because he was probably trying to pry the thing off and it's stopping it from going over it, but I just got it over it. Just don't want to break this gear because these gears are very hard to find. Alright, so now we're back to square one. So now that's good. Now first of all, I want to get this off. Actually, now we'll get that off later. It's alright. Alright, so now I want to show you how to make one of these into the whistle piece. Now I'm sorry I couldn't show you that whistle piece. It's just completely broken and gone. Really, he took it apart before, the guy. But anyway, we'll make one out of this. It's good to have a bit of slack, so make it about there. Alright, so the piece is in good condition. Yes, it is. Sorry. Alright, so what we do is get a vise. Don't do it too tight so it snaps, but tight enough. Now, come closer. Now what you have to do is melt. Now you can cut this with a saw. That's what I do. But obviously we don't have the parts right now, so, well, the tools. So you just melt through it. Just like that. Now this does smell bad, guys.
Oh, my eyes are already burning.
So am I. Alright, so you melt it and break it off. Just,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. But anyway, once you do that, make sure it's not hot before you touch it. Put it there, put your soldering iron where it was. So here's your piece.
What?
Now there's something, one of the spikes. Because I cut myself there. So that's the piece right there. Alright, so what you do is you get your cutters and smooth it out, you know, because you don't need all this yuck stuff, you know. You don't need it. Which you guys obviously know that, but a lot of people will probably leave it the way it is. You'll be surprised. Alright, cut all that excess off. Cut the corners. Make a nice smooth, just like that. So that makes your whistle piece. So what you have to do, you have to put your whistle piece like this. The reason why I'm putting it like this Sorry.
Sorry.
God damn it. Alright. Is this even the same size fitting?
Jeez.
Yeah, see, this one's a different size, slightly different size fitting, but that's not a big deal because we can still get it on. Unless it splits. If it splits, we're deleting this video.
Yeah.
Nah, jokes. It's on anyway. There we go. See how it's in there? Now we have to get it through the other side. It does take some time. There we go. We got it. We got it. So it's on there. Alright? The reason why I did it like this, see how it's like that and not like that, is because I want the tail to be straight. So that's what causes the tail to be straight. So that's one thing you have to realize. It might be more straight than usual because obviously it's a bit hard to do this because oh my god, this thing's hard to put on. I cut myself there, look at that. Oof. Anyway. It's not going on. But anyway, so basically this causes the tail to be straight. So when you put this gear on, see how there's that little latch thing there? It causes that to be straight. Now that might be a bit more straight than usual, see, because see how it sticks out a bit more? But that's what happens because it usually should be around there if you want the tail to be straight, but if it's all the way down here, it's not straight. So but first we have to get this damn thing on. Now it can be difficult because this is not the original piece. So this is what I like to do. This is going all out now. There we go, got it on. That actually worked. Wow. Anyway, so we got that on. Obviously has to go on more. There we go. So now when the gear goes on here, obviously it has that groove in there, so see, it's like that. But that's not going to work because it's too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust it. You're going to adjust it because that's way too much. So what we do is we adjust this little thing here. Now we have to figure out a way to take this off and not that whistle off. These fish can be a bit struggling. There we go, it's coming out. So okay, so that's good. So we want that around there. We want that see? And when this goes on, it moves normally. But that's too far because if it's all the way down there, by the time it goes on the fish you have to lift it up. It's not going to move that much. So you need to keep adjusting until it's correct. Now this is the annoying part because since this is not the original whistle piece, it can be hard to adjust the way you want it because like I just said, it's not the original piece. So we have to keep doing this until it's good. No, that's not gonna work. That might work. Just might. So I guess this is the annoying part. See what I mean? So what in this case what you have to do, I'll show you what you have to do in that case. In that case is you have to get your soldering iron and melt it like a whistle. Just like that. But we need to make this tighter so it doesn't flop around in the place. Just like that. That's the only way you can do it. Blow enough so it cools down enough. See how it makes it like a whistle?
Yeah.
See? Now that should do it. If not, it won't be perfect because we're using a different piece. You know what I mean? If it was the original whistle piece, this would be a 2-minute job. Well, not 2 minutes, but it'll be a very quick job. But it's not the original whistle piece, so you have to do some modifications to it. Alright, so we clip that off. Now this part, when you make it into a whistle, which I've done before, because there are some cases where you just can't do it. So when you do it like this, see, it makes it look like a whistle basically.
Yeah.
So now what you do is just melt it together so it doesn't look stupid. There we go. Make sure you blow it, and this time I'm just going to put it in front of the air conditioner for a little bit. Because if it's hot, it's going to deform. You don't want it to deform. So it's nice and cool now. So this is what we did so far.
That's what he did with the lobster as well. Well, right?
Well, I used this, but I didn't have to make it into a shape of a whistle because it's not the mechanism where you have to, but this one unfortunately you had to. But now it's going to improve. It's not going to be the best, alright? Don't think it's going to be 100%, but it's going to be much better. See? Now we're aiming for the tail to be at least there. It's meant to stick out. Well, let's put it upside down. The tail's meant to be about that, alright? And I think it will be, to be honest.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
What are you doing?
More restorations.
I'm fixing your belly bones.
Oh, cool.
Alright, disconnect the spring. Don't do what I did. Disconnect the spring. Because if you don't, it's gonna... That's all ready for a review, Bailey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's all I'm just looking at.
Take the spring off. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to. Me and Jordan and Bailey figured that out already.
Yeah.
Just take that spring off. Don't be totally awesome and do this. Anyway. So in this case, we shaped it like a whistle, so we made it much thinner than usual. Alright, so when you put it against it, That's it. So when you put it against it, that's how it's going to be. Just like that. So now it has room to move. So now after you do this, you obviously push it all the way through. There you go. You're set. You're basically set. So you've done everything that you could. So now put everything back together. And always test the mechanism before you put every single thing back together. Always. Because if you don't, you're going to have problems. Like I had in the past.
Yeah. Are you doing it right now?
No.
Oh.
Alright, so that's that. That's how it sits. Now we have to get this off. So this is something we didn't get off before. Now we have to, otherwise we're gonna have problems. This is a problem sometimes, because I think the original owner did glue it, unfortunately, but anyway. I was hoping to get this off, but what do you do? Actually, now we do need to get that off. We need to get this off. If we can't get this off, and this does happen, trust me, this happens with a lot of Billy Bones. That thing just does not want to come off. There we go, we got it off pretty easy this time. Alright, so what we do now is we get that lever for the head, which I don't know where it went at the moment. So we got,
Is that the one that went flying?
no. Right here. Alright, so we get this lever for the head. Alright. Put it around here. Actually, put the square shaft in it. There we go. Put that in there. And you can use this as a guide. So we can put that square shaft, and never break this square shaft. Try your best not to break this square shaft. These are so hard to find. It's not even funny anymore how hard they are to find. Like now it's going to be very hard for it to go back on because it has a little groove there. Now it's all the way in, but you have to. Oh, there you go. Jeez. Lucky I didn't split that gear. That gear, like I said, is very hard to find. But anyway, you got it. See, this is how it goes on. Just like that. So now you are all ready to go. Now, before anything, put that spring on. Because if that spring's not on, you're gonna have problems. So you need to put that spring on. Now use that. I think this is the screw for it. Actually, I don't even think that's a screw for it. Do you think that's a screw for it? No, it's not. The screw for it is somewhere on the floor, probably, or. Oh no, I remember where it went. It went in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Here's the screw for it. Alright, so you get the screw. Then we put the mechanism back together. Make sure this, where it raises, is exactly in the middle, nowhere else. Has to be exactly in the middle. There we go. That one is meant to go slightly more than normal, so it becomes straight. So the tail does become straight. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect because it's not the original piece, but it will be much better than what it was, I guess. Screw those bolts in. Always screw the screws in. Always. My old Billy Bones, which is restored now, because thank you Sam aka like WR44, for sending me a replacement mechanism. But yes, he did send me a replacement mechanism because mine was beat to hell because I took it apart at least, I'm not even joking, 10 times. Because when I was younger I didn't know how to fix this. But now once you learn things, it's cool. Anyway, so that's a done mechanism basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to test it. Alright. It might not work because it's not the original. Oh, wire came off. Oh my god. And that's another thing. Wires always come off. Alright, so let's replace the gear. I think they use a 9-tooth, according to memory. But they might use 10-tooth, so I'll use a 10-tooth for now. Because 10-tooth seem to work better on these. Here's the wire for the head. Well, let's get some solder. I put it somewhere. I don't know where. The adapter fell. Very normal for that. Anyway, let's plug the adapter in and give it a test. It should work fine because it's being put back together properly. We put all the screws in. Alright, remember, this is the tail side and this is the head side.
On the day that I was born, sisters all gathered round, and they gave me the white wonder, and the joy they found. The head nurse spoke up, please up from alone. She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone, bad to the bone.
There you go. Now, I'm gonna take this hot glue off. I'm gonna put the spring on the original spot. The spring was originally on the second hole. So we're gonna place it and put it on the second hole. There you go. Get your hot glue gun handy. Glue that part there. That's it. So it doesn't come off again and again and again. Alright. So you glued that. What I like to do, you don't have to do this, but what I like to do is well, actually put these on first. These little caps. Okay.
That other one went flying.
The other one, I know whereabouts. Put some hot glue on them too. so they don't come off again. Now the other one I have to find. It went around here. Around here. I know that for a fact. So I just have to find it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, right. I told you it went around here.
Packing up my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Now since we grabbed it with the pliers, so this is what happens. They don't go in all the way. And they have to go in all the way, otherwise, you know, you're gonna have problems. But anyway, just hammer them. That's it. There we go. It's getting there. That's it. There you go. Now hot glue it. Swirl it around so it's not messy or anything. So that side's done. And also I'll glue these. You don't have to. This stuff you don't really have to do, but it's good to do it. So you don't have problems. So you don't have to go back in just because one lever came out, you know what I mean? So do all that, let it dry, give it a bit to dry. But at least we know the mechanism works. The mechanism definitely works. So good way to test if the tail is straight or not. I'll show you that right now. So let this dry real quick. So what you do is bolt like 1 or 2 screws on. You don't have to bolt everything. This is just a test, by the way. This is not the real thing, because for the real thing you can't bolt it on yet. You have to put it through the plaque first and then bolt everything on. That's the hard thing about Billy Bones. So now he's put back together, and now his tail is slightly sticking out a little bit. See that?
Yep.
So that means it is going to be a bit. It is going to be a bit sticking out, but that's all you can do for now because it's not the original piece. That's all you can do for now. I'll give you a short demonstration. For something you don't have original, this is the best you can do. You can't do better. This head's not going to work for long because I didn't screw that in. So okay. So let's give it a test.
On the day that I was born, judges all gathered round, and the kids in the white wonder at the joy they found. Head nurse
See
woke
that?
up,
Yep.
lead up alone. She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad.
There you go. It moves. It's not going to be the best because, like I just said, it's not the original part. If it was the original part, it would work much better. Much better than this. But that's all you can do for now, unfortunately. We can improve it. But right now, we really can't. So, if you want the tail to be perfectly straight, this lever here is meant to be exactly straight. Or at least, it can be sticking out a little bit, but not much, just exactly straight. So, you know what, I'm a perfectionist, so I have to do it correctly. So I'm gonna go back in there and do it again.
Should I cut it?
It's up to you. It's up to you, man. I don't care. Well, guys, we adjusted.
You had to make the whistle piece a little smaller, right?
It's not 100% yet.
More straight now too, which means it'll move a little better too.
Yeah, it can be better, but I might do another video one day when I have the original whistle piece. You can buy them from Henry, like I said, but
That is better.
So it's getting more straight. Obviously it's not going to work because I didn't put the motor in correctly. But once you put everything in and adjust everything and everything, it's going to look around that. There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to look like that exactly, actually. The reason why it's coming out is because this stupid thing isn't on, and then once that's on, this needs to be adjusted correctly, and it all just matters the way you do it. Anyway, now putting it back in. Now what you have to do is basically what I've done. See, now the problem is, since these pieces, give me a sec, sorry. See that one of them came off already. That's what happens when they wear out. They just start coming off really badly. So what I would do in this situation is just put hot glue inside it. That's going to be very hard to do. But it will work. It will have to work. These are very fragile, these pieces, little pieces here. So see how it's nice tight fit now? They'll hold on. That's all you can do for now. So that's it. The magnet has been restored for now. But the thing is, you can do it better. Like I said multiple times, you can do it better. Anyway, what you do now is go back inside your belly bones and put it through inside like this. Once you put it inside, you start bolting everything on. Fairly simple. Make sure the wires are not in the way either. So you look from the top and start screwing everything in. So now, make sure everything's nice and level. Like that. You get your screws. Get your screwdriver. And don't drop your screws. I hate it when I drop screws, but now I have to... Oh yeah, I got some in here. What am I talking about? Anyway, so you get your screwdriver. And if you don't have magnetic ones, like Bailey unfortunately doesn't have many magnetic ones, you put them in the hole and you start screwing them in. Screw one in, okay, then you screw the other one in, you know, just easy as that. Not very difficult to do. Okay, so we've got two on the top, now one more on the bottom. See, one more on the bottom. Alright. So now you get the tail and link it up to those little moving pieces, just like that, see? And you screw them in. Get the right size screws, of course. Don't use any screws, use the right size ones. If you use smaller ones, they're just going to pop up. So you need to use the right ones. Put those in. That's it. Now, judging by this, it's not going to look too bad. It's not 100%, like I'm going to say again, but it's good enough. With the head, it's a bit tricky. So what you have to do with the head is lift the head up and lift this hinge up like this and lock it just like that. Like once you do that, put the screw in. Sorry guys. Alright, put it in a bit and use a proper screwdriver, I guess. That's it. The head's been connected. So what you do now, this is the bit annoying part. You have to put the fabric back in. Now, like I said, this is the annoying part. So you have to be very patient. Now, some people, which is probably a better option, put the fabric in first. But you can do it like this as well. So all you have to do is just tuck it in. Just tuck it in. Don't tuck it in too much, because if you tuck it in too much, it's obviously not going to move right. So you need to tuck it in enough, like this, and then you can adjust it from the inside. But as you can see, it's already starting to get there. Once you bolt it on and everything, this will go down a bit once it moves a couple times. But see, it's starting to get there. So what you do is you get your fabric in. See, it's already going into the holes correctly. Like I said, this part is the most annoying part. Probably is actually, honestly, the most annoying part. It really is. Because you need to get everything even and all that. Now what's next is, it's a bit hard like this because, you know, you got the board, you know, doing this. So what you do, just unscrew the board. A lot of billy bones, they make the wires way too short. They have to save money on wire.
The fish in general.
A lot, yeah, most fish are actually like that. So you need to unscrew the board. So you have room. See that? Beautiful. Now, you put everything back the way it was. So you got one there, and you got one there. So I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, that's for the board, sorry. So you put one there and there. You get your little holder pieces.
I'm gonna cut it until it's put back together because I'm at 2 minutes again.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the point the rest of the way. Just put it back together, really. Put the screws back in, put the motor back in, yeah.
Well guys, it works.
On the day that I was born, this is all gathered round, and the kids in my wonder at the joy they found. Head never spoke up, leave us alone. She could tell right away that was bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad.
There you go, it works. As you can see, the tail does stick out more than it should, but it's okay for now.
Yep.
Until we get a whistle piece, but it works great other than that. What is that sound?
I don't even know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
You too.